What's up everyone, welcome back. Today we're playing Aragorn the Uniter in Historic Brawl, except we're playing mono green Aragorn. So as you can see, all the spells are green spells. And we are taking advantage of Aragorn's, one of Aragorn's 4 abilities, the green one. So whenever you cast a green spell, target creature gets +4/+4 until end of turn. I guess it's like, is it Gigantic Growth? Is that the green instant that gives +4/+4? It's one of those, but it buffs your creature, right? And keep in mind, just like all the other abilities, this is any green spell. So, you know, +4/+4, obviously you want to have creatures in the deck to take advantage of the +4/+4. That's the main synergy. So whenever we cast a creature, that creature gets, well, not that creature, but another creature of ours gets +4/+4. It could be Aragorn, it could be something else. But just think about that. Like, you could turn a 1/1 creature, or, you know, this Arboreal Grazer, into a 4/7, right? A creature that could normally never attack can now be a 4/7, right? And it's a 1-drop. Obviously, this scales up. If you put it on Galta, you know, it's now a 16/16, right? So it's an incredibly powerful ability. And it's best played, I think, in a shell like this, which is creature focused. Let's see how many creatures we got in this deck. 32, right? So like a third of the deck is creatures. So the goal of the deck is to take advantage of the green spell ability of Aragorn. We have a 4-mana or 4-color mana base, is what I'm trying to say. So we have all the fetches and the shock lands and stuff, but as you can see, most of the dual lands they have green in them, because we still want to be able to play our green spells, especially our green spells with high green pips in them. And then there are a couple off green fetches like Steam Vents and Hollow Fountain, just so we can mana fix, because we do need to get Aragorn down in order to get the payoff. But otherwise, it's essentially mono green stompy, right? A lot of these creatures have trample, or additional value like Vorinclex here. There's cards that are creatures themselves and also get us card advantage, like Radagast. Tribute to the World Tree, same kind of effect, although this is not enchantment, up the Beanstalk, all those different kinds of effects. And then there's ramp in the deck. It's mainly creature ramp. There is a couple spell, you know, ramp in there, like Harrow. But it's mainly creature ramp, like Arboreal Grazer we went over before, or the Pilgrim here. Again, you can turn your 1-mana dork into a 5/5 and attack with it, right? So early game, this comes down, helps us ramp. Late game is still a really big threat for the opponent, right? With Aragorn down on the battlefield. And again, this is any green spell, so pretty much any spell in our deck triggers this, and that's just one spell. If we chain off multiple spells, we could give our whole team +4/+4, right? We could give one creature that has trample, you know, let's say we get 3 spells down, right? We get a couple of these, you line up the shot effects, you know, small mana spells in a row. We're giving out, what is that? We're making something like +12/+12 if we fire off 3 green spells. And if we put it on a trample creature, I mean, we could just GG the opponent right there, right? So this deck is super fun. It kind of explodes out of nowhere, as I'm kind of hinting. So yeah, I'm excited. Let's get into the game. I'm normally a very bad mono green player, but I think this might be where I turn the corner. I think this might be where I finally figure it out. So this series has been really fun. I've already done mono blue and mono red Aragorn. Mono white Aragorn will be next. If you like this kind of content, subscribe. If you're new to the channel, welcome. This was not a viewer submission, but if you would like me to try a deck that you like to play, or that you've always wanted to see someone play, there's a Discord in the description. Hop in the Discord. There's a requested deck channel. Or if you just want to talk to like-minded Magic players, you can enter the Discord. We got fun conversations going on there about all kinds of things Magic the Gathering. So let's get into the games. Make sure we got the right deck selected. So I've said this before. I've done other, I don't want to call this a jank pile, but it is like a deck experiment, if you will, with Aragorn as our commander. Oh, a new commander, Oko. Oko the ringleader. Thankfully not old Oko. I'll get back to that thought in a sec. At the beginning of combat on your turn, Oko, the ringleader, becomes a copy of one target creature you control until end of turn, except he has hexproof. Draw 2 cards. Committed a crime this turn, discard a card, otherwise discard 2 cards. Okay, I mean, +1's pretty good. Draw 2 cards is pretty sweet. Create an elk, and then -5 for each other non-land permanent you control. Create a token that's a copy of that permanent. Okay. This deck could be going in a lot of different directions. Well, let me think out my hand. They get to go first. Draw a card. We have no snow land, so this is just a regular fight spell. We have protection. I think we keep... Anyway, so my thought was, because we still built the deck around Aragorn, Aragorn as our commander, we're likely going to play, as, like, the matchmaker is going to put us against other decks that are in the same tier, right? It's not going to consider that we're mono green, even though we're neutering ourselves, right, by taking out the other colors. It's not going to consider that. Turn 1. Awkward. These are all essentially tapped except this guy. Let's just get this down. Hopefully we draw a forest so we don't have to play this tapped and we can shock this in. I wanted to draw a card if I could, but I guess I need to target a creature anyway, so that wasn't even on the table. Let's do this. Let's pay 2 life. Let's explore. Since we're a turn behind because we went second and all of our lands are tapped, just do it like this. Okay, so that sort of gets us a little bit ahead. We don't have to deal with as much of the tap land issue as we were thinking originally. They're probably going to make an elk. No, they're going to draw 2 cards and discard 2 cards? They haven't committed a crime. Committing crime is targeting any of my stuff if you're new to that mechanic. Of course we draw the forest. So we didn't need to play that, but that's okay. What do we want to do this turn? Probably Radagast, right? They're in Simic, so they're not going to have a lot of ways of getting rid of our stuff. And Radagast kind of turns everything else on. We can't play Aragorn yet because we're missing what? We're missing a red or white or blue on something else besides these 2 lands. Otherwise we have all of our mana. Let's just do this. Let's get the card advantage. Even if this gets removed, we still get to draw a card essentially. This has trample and this... Ooh, which one's better? This is indestructible as long as it's our turn. But I think just regular Vorinclex is the better card. We draw an untapped land, we get to play it next turn. If not, we have Snakeskin Veil up. So far they haven't played a blocker, so they're probably going to -1 Oko and get an elk. Bursting Roots proliferate, so they're trying to get to the -5. They're going to make another Midnight Clock? Question mark? That doesn't seem worth it to me. Gotta be honest. Unless they're like a sneaky Simic control deck. But that seemed like a lot of work just to get a second Midnight Clock. And these are going to go off at the same time, so they're essentially useless. It's essentially like you have one Midnight Clock, because these are both going to do their thing at the same time. Like, they're not going to be staggered. Weird. Weird play from the opponent, gotta be honest. Okay, well, play our land. Can't be blocked, we can draw a card. We can draw a card if we play this, so might as well. The Beanstalk, we can draw a card without the Beanstalk as well. It's hard to draw cards in green sometimes, so while the opponent is dirtling like they are, we might as well get the cards flowing in our hand. Whenever you cast a spell. So this is a proliferate deck. Okay. Solve. Can't play Aragorn yet. If you would put one or more counters on a permanent or player, this turns off their whole deck, right? They can't put counters on stuff. Radagast. Whiff. Nice. Bloodstained Mire. Let's go get a red. Let's do this. I'm not worried about them hurting our life total. We'll keep up Snakeskin Veil. Vorinclex shuts off their whole deck. So we really want to protect Vorinclex. Resolve all. See, nothing happens because Vorinclex is down. So even if they proliferate, nothing happens. If they try to tick up Oko, nothing will happen. I don't think they know that. Nothing's gonna happen here. Yeah, we got you, and you come down with less loyalty. I think the opponent is confused. Uh-huh. Great Nell, sure. Bye. Oh, Vorinclex. Wrecking counter decks since 2000. When did it come into play? 2020? 2021? Something like that? Whenever Kaldheim was. That's so funny. What a perfect card against them. Okay. On to the next one. Yeah, and again, they're in Simic, so I wasn't too afraid of them removing it. They might have bounce spells and stuff like that, but there aren't a lot of ways to remove creatures in Simic. So I was like, if we just keep Vorinclex down and we hold up Snakeskin Veil, they're pretty much out of this game. Cameo, Pleated Sage. Hey, at least we're not playing Hellq Commanders. This is, I mean, these are good cards, but they're like A tier, not S tier, right? Maybe even B tier. That's cool. That's not usually how my videos go, as the viewers can tell you. Tap up to one target artifact or creature doesn't untap during its control on tap step. Exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard, create a token. Okay. Well, let's view the hand. 2 land. They get to go first. This would be a great hand if we had more lands, but we're doing nothing until turn 4. I don't think we can keep this hand. So let's mulligan that. This is better. Like to see Radagast. They're in blue, so being able to make sure they can't counter our stuff is always nice. Let's just play this tap to not take the damage. There's an argument to do this and ramp first. You know, I understand that. But I'd rather make my stuff uncounterable. That's what I was thinking. We're against a blue deck that has a Planeswalker commander that, I don't know. Oko, it was the same kind of deal, but I feel like there's just something in my brain that's telling me this might be more of a control deck than the Oko one. No, no context clue beyond that. What do we do in this turn? Elvish Mystic. Yeah, so this is fine. Right? Hold up Veil. This is an instant, so we can hold that up as well. I held up 3 mana. Are they gonna do something on my end step? Nope. Okay. Are they just gonna slam down Tamiyo? Because we'll attack it down. Hosky, okay. Sure, that's a good blocker, but only for 1 turn, because it has to attack every turn. Prevail land, turn timber. Okay. Go like this. Let's get the card advantage going. Nice. Make the board go wide. I like that. They're just gonna block, so no point in attacking. And now we have Veil of Summer. We have protection from blue. We can play Tameo. Or do something else. They play Tameo. Exile target non-land permanent from your graveyard. So they don't have anything in our graveyard. Tap to one target artifact or creature. It doesn't untap during its control next untap step. Sure. But we can also Veil some of them.
Phyrexia is the multiverse's synthetic destiny.
Let's see what they do. Veil of Summer. Gotcha. Block. Okay. So. Prevail. Explore. Not really what we're looking for right now. I think Gruff Triplets would be great right now, but... So we can do this and what? Kill their Tameo. Do a lot of damage to them. We could also draw a bunch of cards. Well, not a bunch. We draw 2 cards. Can we kill their Tameo? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? No. We can't. I think... Let's just pump the team. And make sure Tameo dies. It seems pretty extreme. But obviously their deck revolves around this card being on the field.
A minor setback.
And so now it costs 7... Well, technically 6 mana if they do the Phyrexian. Yep. They draw a card. They can replay it and we can just attack it down. Wizard class. Okay, so they're not going to play it. They're going to play more blockers, I think, is their plan. Well. This seems like a good play. What does this do? Whenever you cast non-creature spell, proliferate. Yeah. I think playing this and then this next would be good. Our stuff's uncounterable, remember. Trigger Radagast. Fight that. Okay. Sure. Yep, I think it's about that time. We just need white mana for Aragorn, too. We're so close. But our deck's doing the thing even without Aragorn. In control. Well, that's a bummer. For how long? Gotcha. Well. Ogala's nice. Attacks. So if they have a creature, they can attack one of our things. Genetic attacks is nice. That's a pretty good one. Which one is this, though? Okay, it's the counter. So this one doesn't really counter anything in our deck, because it doesn't counter creatures. Yeah. They got rid of the Destiny Spinner. I would have gotten rid of Radagast, but that's just me. Okay. Hold on, let's just give this a read. Whenever you cast an... Whenever an opponent casts an artifact, instant, or sorcery spell, counter that spell. Yeah, so it doesn't count creatures. So let's kill their Jin-Kataxis. There's definitely an argument for Thorn Mammoth, but... Questing Beast, nice. We can keep that. Rather keep that spell. And we'll just pass. Can't attack through the Thorn Mammoth. We're running low on cards. Okay, they're gonna gain control of something, probably the Kogla. But we can Questing Beast. It is a creature, so it does trigger the Thorn Mammoth. That is unfortunate. But this is for as long as it is on the battlefield, right? Yeah. They still don't attack. That's so weird. Opponent drew all of the steel effects. Maybe that's their whole deck. Who knows? We need a white. Let's just grab the planes, not take any damage or any further damage. So we can Questing Beast, the Mind Flayer, get back Kogla. What does Kogla say again? Whenever it enters the battlefield, it fights as one target creature. Whenever it attacks to one target, return target human control is on his hand. Okay. Mind Flayer, get back the Kogla. Attack with the Questing Beast. It has Vigilance. Yep. You have more steel spells. Let's do. Would you like to fight my Questing Beast? Or my Kogla? Okay, thanks for the 2 6/6s. Yep. Okay, we can draw a card. We can give something trample. We can play Aragorn. Oh, we could play Aragorn and fire off a couple spells, huh? Okay, hold on. Red. Yeah, that way we have all our green. Would you like to counter this? I would if I was you. They're gonna have to block with something. Math is for blockers. Hopefully they don't have some kind of tricky blue effect. Okay, they bounce that. Makes sense. I'd rather them do it on that though. We draw 2. Oh. Shia. That's a big one. Fight the Aragorn. Yeah. Still don't want to attack through the questing beasts. Oh, we're so close. Go spiral. They're getting desperate. 15-15 is going to be hard to get through. I'll just block it with my Toski. Can we get through our own creatures? Well, we could get rid of the Ashaya. Okay, hold on. Yeah. They have no cards in hand. Okay, so we have how much mana? 4? Can we do this? I think we can. So. Hold on. Was it the beginning of combat? Yes. Okay. Okay. Yep. I think that's it, right? At least, if we don't kill them, it at least gets us back in the game. But they have trample, right? Okay, down to 2. Drew a land. Oh, this has been close. Great Henge is a great draw. Come on. Give up. So they can play Tamiyo and tap something down. Nice. Wait. Okay. Comments. Tell me if you think they did this on purpose. So they died because they paid the Phyrexian 2 life. They didn't need to. Obviously, they had more than enough land. Do you think they made the mistake, or do you think they went out on their own terms? I think they went on their own terms, but part of me wants to believe that they made the mistake of paying the Phyrexian life and just died. Either way, so let's see. They play Tamiyo. Exile target non-land permanent card with mana value X from your graveyard. Create a token that's a copy of that card. I mean, they could have done that. Minus X. It comes down with 3. Was there anything in here that was like really good 3-drop? Flux Chandler as a blocker, maybe? I don't know. I think what they would have done is tap down one of my creatures, and who knows if that would have been enough. Because again, we can put the +4/+4 on anything we want. We could put it on Aragorn, right? I don't know. They were definitely on the back foot. I think we were maximum 2 turns away from taking that game. Well, hey, I got 2 wins with mono green, so I think I've leveled up as a player. This is like Spellslinger make Thopters, right? That's what this deck does. We've played 3 Planeswalker commanders in a row, by the way. Pretty funny. Okay. Scry 2, if you control an artifact, draw a card. Yep. -2 create 2 colorless Thopter artifact creature tokens with flying that gain haste. And then -4 you get an emblem with artifact creatures you control get +1/+1 and artifact spells you cast cost 1 less. So it's an artifacts deck. I think there's another version of this card that has like a static ability about making Thopters. But that's not this one. This one is scry 2 and draw a card if you control an artifact, which they obviously will. Okay. We get to go first finally. And we take advantage of that. Target creature, Planeswalker. That's nice. Yeah, I think this is a keeper. Good early game lands. We could do the Surveil land and get it out of the way. Yeah, I think we do. We don't have a turn 1 play anyway. Protection is probably good. Yeah, I think we'll keep the protection spell. It's nice to have at least one. And I think we're going to be able to get to Aragorn mana pretty quickly. We'll play this guy and pass. Next turn we can get down the overgrown farmland because we have a forest now. Don't touch my lands, I don't like that. Don't tell me you got like a stone rain or something. You don't have enough mana for that. What the hell is this? You may reveal an artifact card. Okay. Sure. Artifact, Midnight Clock. Good one. Do you think they have counter spells? They probably run counter spells, right? They don't have one up right now. I think this is a good one to get down. We could have ramped. But we can always do that later. I think getting down the 4/4 Trampler on turn 3 is pretty good. It makes it so that they can't play their Planeswalkers comfortably. And that's what we want. And they're tapped out again, so we can still get down the Destiny Spinner. Alright. Do that. Play the Mountain. These come into play tapped? They do. So... We want to save this for their Planeswalker when it comes down. We'll probably just want to ramp, and then what? Hold up this? Sure. We'll go get a forest and an island, and then we'll have all our colors. Forest, island. Now we have Aragorn mana. Play their commander. So they're gonna scry 2 draw.
Give me a piece
Essentially
of scrap and I'll
preordained.
win any fight.
You guys play Pauper? Or Modern now? It's legal in Modern. Was banned for some reason. Two to the bottom. Okay. They have 1 blue or 1 red up. Do they attack me? No. Okay. So we can Aragorn, and can't think of a single blue that would counter it. Now they could have a spell pierce, but this clause says cast. So even if they counter this, we still get the trigger. We're gonna choose Old Growth Troll. And we'll give it +4/+4. Now they could bounce the Old Growth Troll. That would also be a wash. Do they have a bounce spell? They have this. Yeah, that'll do it. Okay. Good play from the opponent. Definitely walked into that a little bit.
We'll learn from this.
We're gonna -4.
Next
Okay.
time I'll reverse etheric
But we
polarity.
tried. We tried our best
You
to
will not hurt my
get rid of their
friends, and you're
Planeswalker
not
before
in this
ultimated,
fight.
but they had the answer. We could have attacked first, but then they still could have bounced it. Maybe that probably was the line, was to attack first. I got a little greedy. Okay, so they're a storm, artifact storm deck with Aetherflux Reservoir. Okay. Resolve. Yeah, we got a little. We should have attacked first, made them bounce the creature, then we could have done that in response and blown up their Planeswalker. That's okay. So we can give our guy Trample. Now he's a 9/9. 10/10. Ooh, what do we want to fight? Probably Emery. Boundary Inspector. This is reducing casting cost as well as their emblem. But this lets them get stuff out of their graveyard. And they have Forsaken Monument down there, so... Get rid of Emery. Kind of like an artifact tutor for your graveyard. Old Growth Troll. Keep up the protection spell. So, would you like to take 14 to the face? They do. Turn. Now we have 10 power of trample. So they're really going to need to storm off. Oh my god, the perfect card. Is this making it indestructible? No, it doesn't. Wow. Oh my god. Well, at least this goes back to the command zone. Resolve, and this will turn into ramp, so it's not a total loss, but man, that's rough. Uh-huh. Nice. Perfect answer for Old Growth Troll. Wow, they just have had the answer every time. And this is going to get a creature every turn. Damn. Probably game. We'll just hold up protection, I guess. Old Growth Troll, sure. Yeah, I was gonna say, that doesn't this counter your portal? That's really funny. They need to get rid of their Weathered Runestone before they can do anything with their portal, but it still came down as a 9-mana destroy our whole board. Resolve. Aragorn doesn't have trample anymore, which is a bummer.
Test your metal against my metal. Let's see who wins.
They are low on cards. Gonna keep their blockers up. Yeah. We could turn our land into a 1/1. Not really worth it. They could -4 again. Since we can't do anything to stop that, we might as well just attack their face. Man, I wish it had trample. This doesn't give trample, does it? What is it? It has Ward 1. Nope, not trample. Okay. They might just use this for card draw at this point. Nope.
I need to iterate.
Going for the
Clearly,
full-on
my designs have room
artifact
for
storm.
improvement. Clanks and whirs are a symphony. So
Pretty
here's
cool.
the grand finale.
Resolve all. They're basically trying to artifact storm off, get to 50 life, so they can minus Aether Flux Reservoir, and kill me. But they don't have a way to draw a card. I mean, I guess Midnight Clock, right? If they pay 6, they can draw a fresh hand. Sure. Pretty good. They have 2 mana. Oh, that's right. They don't need mana because they're Artifact Storm. I'll just pass through the turn. I don't want to keep responding to triggers. Come on. I said auto pass. Arena, come on. Why is this button even here if you're not going to let me auto pass? Okay, so they couldn't do it. They couldn't storm off. Damn, they're at 32 life. I think we just scoop this up. I can't think of anything that we're going to draw that'll get us out of this. We were so close. We were so close. And they drew the perfect card like 3 different times in that game. But the Portal to Phyrexia was extremely brutal. That's why it's a good card. But see, like, I don't know about you guys, but when I play decks that use sacrifice effects, even wide ones like that, like sacrifice 3 creatures, there's another black card that I think it's Taste of Death or something like that. 6 mana black sorcery. Each opponent sacrifices 3 creatures. It never works for me because the opponent has way more than 3 creatures, so they just sack their 3 worst creatures. But when it happens to me, it's a complete board wipe, one-sided board wipe. So funny. They get to go first. What is this? Area? Okay, auras. Well, this is a good card then because they can't target it. I think this is a keeper. Howdy. It's a good land to have. My creature deck. They pass with 2 mana up, 1 of which is blue. Technically 2 of which is blue. What could it mean? 4 mana. Oh, this is the Esper one. Oh, okay, this is different. Whenever an aura you control becomes attached to a non-land permanent aura controlled with mana value less than or equal that aura's mana value, you can control that permanent as long as the aura is attached. Okay, so they can steal my Elvish Mystic? Well then might as well just tribute. If they want to counter it, they can counter it. Yep. Figured. But it gets a counter out of their hand. And we have a backup in Great Henge. So we'll fit. Yeah, I guess we just keep ramping. Would you like to trade? No? Shocking. You may look at the top card of your library anytime. The top card of your library has plot. Plot cost equals mana cost. You may plot cards on the top of your library. They're probably going to steal one of my mana dorks. That's annoying, but fine. Temporary lockdown is pretty good. But not if we get out thrown first. This one's going to be a hard one for them to deal with. We'll just do this to get rid of their card. So they're not going to be able to target this card. It's also a high mana cost, so unlikely they have auras that are 6 mana or greater. I mean, like, they do exist, but... Yep. That's what I expected them to do. Memory Deluge, yep. So they're really going to need a board wipe. And this is indestructible on my turn, so they really need like an exile effect. It's a 5/5 trampler, so it's going to start beating their face in. We can Great Henge next turn as well. Pass. Or we can Nissa. Do they have a Spell Pierce? Spell Pierce would be bad. So the issue with Nissa in this game is the creatures we make have no mana value, so they can steal them from us. I think this is essentially a 5 mana destroy this temporary lockdown at some point. So I think we'll leave with the Great Henge. No counter. And just restoration. We can mana fix here. Get rid of a forest. We'll go get... What do we need? Red. We have blue and white. We might as well get a white, though, just in case they do some land destruction or have like a Field of Ruin. Now we have all of our mana for Aragorn. Yeah, they really need a board wipe. Or yet? Okay. Curiosity, sure. Draw cards when they attack. Okay. Okay, lands is not what we're looking for. I guess we can play Nissa. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? Make that a 9/9. We will blow up their temporary lockdown.
Enough resistance.
2 more cards. Man, ton of lands. I'll attack. Would you like to block my 9/9? Yes, they would with their commander. It has trample, by the way, and is indestructible. They gain some life, though, so it kind of is a wash. We did like 1 damage to them, but we killed their commander, which is definitely nice. They might want to get rid of Nissa, but that's okay. Again, I don't really want to make creatures that they can steal. Okay, they all have a Shroud, but again, I can blow this up. Okay, sure. Yeah. Yeah. Yep. So, I don't know what was in their hand, but it seemed a little early to scoop here. But next turn would be pretty good for us. We would have... At least, you know, we don't know what we would have drawn. I would hope not another land. But let's say we drew some other type of green spell, right? We'll play this, buff Throne. We'll play and draw a card off the Great Henge. we'll play the other green spell. So this would get +8. Would be, you know, 13, 13. And then if we drew another green spell, it would be a 17, 17. So they would almost be dead. They'd have to block with this. And then we would attack with all of our other stuff too. And I think that would have done it. I think there would have been no way out if that was the scenario. That's the best case scenario, obviously, but I don't think there would have been any way out from them dying next turn. And then, of course, if they didn't die, we could blow up, you know, their Greater Ormancy. We could blow up this Curiosity if we want to stop their card draw. Yeah, so we had some options, depending on whether or not we just killed them outright. So cool, mono green Aragorn. Pretty fun deck. Honestly, it's a pretty fun way to play mono green. Gotta admit. +4/+4 is extremely powerful, and like I said, I built the deck to really Detention Sphere, cool. Ooh, nice. I'm building up a couple wild cards. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, +4/+4 is extremely powerful, especially when you build the deck like I built it, where there's lots of trample creatures or things that grant trample. You know, there's just a bunch of really good green creatures that do good things and then also have trample stapled on them, right? But I was really, when I was picking the creatures for this deck, and there are a lot to pick from, it's kind of like not a wrong way to build it, but my personal philosophy was just, let's put all the ones that are really annoying to block, like Questing Beast, doesn't have trample, but Death Touch Haste. And then you can imagine giving this +4/+4 or +8/+8, which we saw is pretty easy to do in this deck, is to pump your creature by 8 power, right? So no one's going to want to block this, but they're going to have to. And that's kind of like what you want to do in a green deck anyway, is put down stuff that's bigger than the opponent and then make them need to block it, whether to stay alive because of their life total or because, you know, it's like Toski and we're going to draw a bunch of cards. Just a bunch of creatures like that. But I specifically focused on trample because I wanted creatures to come down and for us not to need to do any other hoop jumping through to get them to put pressure on the opponent. And, you know, Aragorn itself doesn't have trample, which is why there's a couple of trample granters in the deck. But mainly it's built around, you know, things that already have trample. Or like Throne is a great example. We saw this pop up a couple times in the video, but it can't be countered. It has trample. It's a 5/5. And it can't be the target of spells or abilities that aren't green from our opponent. So it's got like protection from non-green. Or like hexproof from non-green, I guess is what you would think. And then as long as it's our turn, it's indestructible. I mean, this is extremely hard to interact with for an opponent. And we saw that in the last game. But it has trample. And, you know, that card would be cool if it didn't have trample. It would be like, oh, that's cool. But it's like really good in this deck because it also has trample, right? You know, and then there's the fight creatures, right? Like this comes down, fights their stuff. So like we're constantly putting the opponent in a bind where they can't keep their creatures on the board, whether because we're fighting them or because we're running them over and they have to use their creatures to block. And then, you know, we saw those 3 decks that we played that were Planeswalker decks, except for the Storm one, because they actually got to their Storm win con. But it was hard for them to protect their Planeswalker because we had trample and we could run over their creatures, right? Normally they're able to put down like 1/1 blockers or make Thopters or, you know, gum up the battlefield. But if you have trample on all your stuff, then they can't really do that, right? It's like green's form of evasion. And then, you know, having cards with multiple purpose value like Nissa is nice in the deck, right? We can make big dumb creatures, but like in that last game we didn't want to because they could potentially steal them. So we just blew up their artifacts and enchantments. I mean, that's still a really good, you know, thing to be able to do. So the deck has a lot of versatility built into it, but it is really creature focused, and creature synergy focused. So I thought really long and hard about this list. If you want to play this deck, there's a link in the description with the deck list. I would recommend not moving too far away from this list. I would be very intentional with the spells that you add or subtract from this list. I thought about this one really hard, again, because I'm not a very good mono green player, and I really wanted to have this video do well because I just think this series is cool, but I really thought long and hard about every card in this deck, and I had to cut some really cool ones too. I mean, there's a bunch of really great mono green creatures. And you'll notice, like, in most mono green decks, you have, like, the Eldrazi and stuff like that, but because those don't trigger Aragorn, they're not green spells, they're not in the deck, right? Although having Emrakul and Ulamog would be super cool in this deck, it doesn't really work, right? So they're not in the deck. Things like that, right? So you can't just jam in 40 creatures and have this deck work. You gotta be really intentional about the creatures and the spells that back them up. So that's the video. Thanks for watching, really appreciate it. If you liked the video and you like my channel, subscribe if you haven't already. If you watched this far and you haven't subscribed, what are you doing? But yeah, mono white Aragorn coming around the corner. Really appreciate everyone for watching. I'm almost at 700 subs, which is kind of mind-blowing. I started this channel like 5 months ago, 6 months ago, something like that. Really cool, guys. This has been really fun. So thank you everyone for hanging out. Join the Discord. I'll see you guys in the next one. Later.